No doubt there. Oh, my headphones have fallen off. No doubt there. We have Charlie Higson and Paul Whitehouse. Once they were the young, brave new faces of comedy. Now they came in, I thought someone was delivering something. I'll be honest with you. I was going to say, put it in the corner. If you can get out quickly, we've got some guests turning up.
Yes, good morning.
Grey hair.
Is that what you meant, really? Good morning.
Good
You ain't stopped talking for 20 years, have you? Don't you think it's about time you did?
I can't.
Let Russell Brand have his own show.
I can't. It was an accident. How are you? It's lovely to see you, Paul.
It's very nice to see you.
Charlie, lovely to see you as well.
Hello, yes, well, very nice to be here again.
Charlie's looking a bit like Stuart Granger these days with that silver hair and that manly physique. Like a younger Stuart Granger.
None of your audience knows who Stuart Granger is.
No, this is Radio 2.
I suspect all of our audience, many of them still have pictures of Stuart Granger.
You obviously do, don't you? Yes.
I've got a large laminated poster, I'm not afraid of that. Good to see you again, and it's nice that I didn't realise, Paul Whitehouse, of course, has a presence always, and Charlie is sort of like, I think deliberately, has edged away from the limelight. You're more of a
No, I've
writer
kept him out of the limelight.
But I didn't realise you guys are working together on this thing. There's a new thing on Radio 4. The second series has just started, or is it just about to start?
Started last week.
Okay,
Yeah,
called Down the Line.
That's right.
And I knew Paul was involved, but I didn't know Charlie was involved as well.
That's because you didn't bother returning my text when I told you about the brave new world of radio that we'd created. You didn't even bother getting back to me about it. You know, you're too busy licking the butts of Matt and Dave and people like that. You know, some of us oldsters still have a voice, you know.
I feel like Shilpa here. I feel like I'm being... With you two
What? Charlie hasn't said anything yet. It's just 1-to-1, mate, so far.
Well, I might try and play
Get back to Ilford.
I'll try and play the Jermaine role. Calm it down.
How much did you like Jermaine Jackson in there?
It's weird, isn't it, that he's become the voice of reason.
Who would have thought one of the Jackson family? But what a strangely sweet and calm gentleman he is.
Yeah.
Despite the fact he named his son
Would you like to
Jermaine.
pop round to your house every day, so around about 3 o'clock, and deliver a little eulogy?
The difference between the Americans and the British on there is extraordinary. The Americans are so professional. It's like, well, it's a job. We're going to get paid. We're going for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Keep your heads down and get on with it.
But you know what it is as well,
and
Charlie?
the others are a bunch of mad kids.
But they are older, the Americans, and they've been through it a little bit.
Maybe.
Well, Cleo's no... Sorry, but that's unfair. Or Leo, you know, Leo went bonkers.
Yeah. Yes. But he's had a lot of anger ever since the first time he was measured, I feel. Yeah. You know?
This is a clown.
The first time they took his adult height and he realised he wasn't getting any bigger.
The clown, the height.
I think we should introduce the bold concept that Jermaine Jackson is the voice on our satellite navigation systems from now on. Because that would calm me down driving. Turn left ahead. Don't get angry.
Think of the love in your heart as you turn right. Now second, turn right.
Do not cut
Can we
up.
get back to our radio show?
Don't make a U-turn.
We haven't got
Carry
long.
on. Investigate where you might wind up. How are you, fellas? It's lovely to see you both.
We're pleased with our little radio show, you see.
Well, you know what I like about it is when you pointed me in the direction of I listened, and I didn't realise, or it wasn't made overtly clear that it was indeed a kind of parody.
You
of
saying
certain
it was
kinds of
not
radio
funny
shows.
now?
It was very
Is that what
funny,
you're
but it
saying?
wasn't clear, and that was an interesting and I think a bold move. Now it's more out there in the open that this is obviously a comedy show.
It is, but people still do turn on to halfway through and get confused, thinking, what is this? Is this real?
For those who haven't listened, I haven't done a very good job of setting up. What is the nature of the show? What does it sound like?
It's a phone-in show that we do for Radio 4. It's a kind of dumbed-down show that they would never do on radio.
Like a Jeremy Kyle kind of show.
It's
but
like, it's like LBC have sneaked onto the airwaves of Radio 4 for half an hour, you know.
And so we get we do all the callers on it in a sort of improvised manner, and Rhys Thomas plays the DJ.
Now, Rhys Thomas is a very talented, very funny performer. He's pretending to be...
I don't think
American
he is,
or Canadian,
actually.
he's pretending to be.
No, he's an Englishman, but he's worked for years in Canada.
That's
his claim to fame.
that's what the history we gave him.
Okay.
He sees himself as a broadcast journalist and not a DJ.
He's very
We've all met a few of those, haven't we?
He's very pompous, but not very bright.
Yeah.
Now, he's a very talented performer, though.
He does a great job on it, yeah.
He was in that funeral sitcom that you were involved in.
The Funeral Parlour, yes.
And he's in Blunder as well, that Channel 4 thing, which is a little rough around the edges.
Yeah,
but
let's say it's a bit rough around the edges.
It's finding its feet.
It's always nice to see new shows.
I found myself nearly making an analogy to one of the members of the Big Brother household there.
I think we just have to avoid that whole topic now.
Yes.
I think we're going to have to be like Stalin and write whole chunks of our history out. It never happened. There'll be photographs.
It'd be nice, though, wouldn't it, if you could?
Big Brother annuals and Jade Goody has been painted out of every photograph.
She'll do very well out of it.
Who knows? It's not for us to say.
No.
It's a great idea for a show. I'm surprised it hasn't been done before.
I know, know.
We were
That's why I'm
surprised
so
as well.
pleased with myself and pat myself on the back every day that nobody's done it. People say, "Oh, it's been done," but it hasn't really. You can think, I mean, Alan Partridge, but that was more a spoof chat show.
Because it was like a sitcom, really, as well.
We do it completely straight. There's no laughter track. It is as if you're listening to half an hour of an actual phone-in show. And when we first launched it, we pretended, and Radio 4 very bravely pretended that it was a real.
Yeah, we thought very bold on both of them.
Well, we
Yeah,
thought
it
that
was.
they might, their brief, I don't know, obviously it's funded by the licence plate, whether they're allowed to actually, to an extent, mislead their audience,
Well,
But it was
they've
clear.
been employing Noel Edmonds as a family entertainer for many years now. And, he used to do the breakfast show, as I recall, and that was horrible.
What is it with you and Noel?
I like Noel. I was just reaching for a comedy name and didn't really reach far enough.
It didn't quite work.
No.
He hasn't been on the BBC for years.
Oh,
No,
Charlie.
It's
you
Channel
see.
4 now, isn't it?
Now he's got old, it's all tough love with you, isn't it? Where's the soft, cuddly Charlie? He used to do a bit of plastering, then write a sketch for Harry.
Who's looking after Jade's kids? Oh, no,
We're not talking about that.
I should imagine she left him in a car and cracked open the window.
How many servants do you think she's got? Hey?
Political.
Hey?
That's not the kind of stuff you'll get if you listen to Down the Line, which is on BBC Radio 4, 11 till 11:30. It's on Tuesdays, isn't it?
On Tuesdays
Yes.
at the moment, and hopefully they're repeating the 6:30 slot, which they did. Shall I tell you who's in it?
Well, I want to know what topics you've covered as well first. What kind of things do you guys pick up on? Is it mainly news-related or is it just absurd stuff?
we tried to do one serious topic and one slightly banal one, so we'll maybe say, war. Who would you like to be at war with? And has chocolate become too serious? And is toothpaste too bewildering? So it's...
But we can't be too topical because it is recorded in advance. There's a lot of editing goes into it because we make it up as we go along. So we try and pick topics that we think are going to be current. So we've got a programme about immigration, one about
bullying,
the environment, bullying, estate agents.
These are the ones coming up.
Yes.
Do you listen to much of this sort of stuff yourself? I mean, presumably there's
I try
an
not
inspiration
to,
there,
but you do. You can't help when you do listen to phone, you get drawn in, don't you? And you get so annoyed at the puerile nature of some of the calls, and of course we've reproduced that. And a lot of Radio 4 listeners have got annoyed at the puerile nature of our programme.
Well, have they been annoyed? Have they been?
Yeah, I think quite a few have, yeah.
But now they know it's comedy.
Unlike you, Donald.
Well, even now they know it's comedy. It's like, well, I don't know, it's still puerile and filthy.
You know why? Embarrassed that they were not aware early on that it was a joke.
Either that or it's not very funny.
I mean, I think if you listen to it from the top, you'd suss out pretty quickly this is spoof. But if you catch it in a car, you're halfway through, then you might think, oh.
Have you had people phoning in and agreeing with what you're saying?
Well, actually, initially we set up. You can ring the programme, you can leave a message, and you can email.
As if you're going to get through.
Yeah. We got some white supremacists emailing, And that's always nice, isn't it?
At last, our voice can be heard.
Yes.
Well, exactly.
Or were they complaining about the views being expressed?
And of course, once you touch on Christianity, the message boards light up
Of course they do.
like Regent Street at Christmas.
Quite rightly.
Yeah, I wasn't saying anything negative or positive about Christianity.
You just genuflected then,
Yeah,
didn't you?
I did a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Nice to know there is a spiritual dimension too.
I'm on board with the big guy with the beard. All right. Or is that Santa?
Noel. Back to Noel again.
Not a big guy.
No.
All right, let's... now, you fellas, of course, have a long history of loving popular music, having produced some yourself over the years.
Yes.
What do you say? Actually, have you ever heard anyone say this? No, I don't really like music.
No, but sometimes you see their face when you play the track that's coming up next, and you think, oh, they're very disappointed in us.
But you do occasionally get a guest on Desert Island Discs who obviously has never listened to a piece of music in their life, and somebody's had to give them a list.
Yeah.
And it's like...
They're normally politicians, aren't they, who are
Yes.
trying to
Exactly.
appeal to
I've heard a
rude
couple of celebrity chefs. In fact, I have two chefs. One was a voluptuous female, and the other one had a really long name and makes, duck ice cream. I'll leave it there.
So it's Heston Blumenthal and Nigella Lawson, and you're accusing both of them of not listening to popular music.
Rubbish. Absolute drivel. Really.
Yeah, but would it matter to you that Nigella didn't have a broad musical taste?
Nah.
Imagine that.
Or Hector, whatever his
imagine
name is.
Lovely soft cuddle, and then
I
she
remember-
whips
As
up
long as he
souffle
introduces
afterwards.
the duck ice
She-
cream
she
into
was
our
a
liaison,
guest.
I wouldn't
She
care
was
about
a-
him either.
She was a guest on Saturday Night with Jonathan Ross.
She
Years ago,
was
when
way
we were
back
doing Knockdown Ginger Goat, which we talked about last time.
No, it was called 1 Hour with Jonathan Ross.
Oh, that was 1 hour.
Which was
with
more
Jonathan.
than enough for most
It
people.
all merges into one. As I say, you haven't stopped talking for 20 years.
Yeah, wasn't it 1 hour with Jonathan Ross? Question mark.
Well, then I did a show called Tonight with Jonathan Ross.
It's 1 hour with Jonathan Ross.
And my wife had a T-shirt that said Tonight with Jonathan Ross. I opened the door once, a bloke said, I bet it's every night for you, love, isn't it? What are we going to play, Andy?
I've got a choice of Billy Fury, going back a bit, new single by a man called Malcolm Middleton, or some Robbie Williams. Three choices.
I think Billy Fury wins hands down.
I like Billy Fury.
Yeah, that's the voice of middle-aged Britain. Billy Fury. That is a great track.
Yeah.
Well chosen. OK, who else appears on the show with you? What are the other voices that we hear? Who are the other characters phoning in?
Go, Charlie.
Well, Simon Day,
Yep.
who,
The great Simon Day.
we put the show together with originally. Lucy Montgomery, who...
Lucy Montgomery, I know the name, but
she's probably best known for Titty Titty Bang Bang.
Oh, yeah, I like
Or is
Titty
it Titty
Bang Bang,
Bang
actually.
Bang?
Don't
kind
look
of-
at me, I'm shy.
OK, that's really grown on me, that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's a fantastic comedy performer. Amelia Bullmore does the bulk of the other female accents on it. She's done a lot of stuff like... she played Alan Partridge's Polish wife.
Right, yes, exactly. That
Very
place
good,
nice.
Felix Dexter is another of our stalwarts. Who
Didn't he
is,
used to be part of a double act, Felix? Was he part of a double act?
No.
OK.
No,
I know
he's a
Felix.
fantastic character stand-up black comedian.
I know he was on They Think It's Love with us once. And anyone else? There's one other name.
Quite good. We had the old complaint about doing black voices.
Catherine Tate's on the show with
Yes.
us. Arabella Weir.
Yes.
You can't leave anyone else.
Well, we have a kind of core team, and then the great thing about the show is because it's...
You notice the way he's justified the fact that he's forgotten that we have a kind of core team.
Listen, because it's a phone-in, that people can phone in from home, so we do get celebrity chums to make the odd call.
Celeb chums.
Such as Catherine Tate, Harry Enfield, Matt Lucas, Mark Gatiss from League of
So
Gentlemen.
it's a star-studded programme.
No, we don't like them ringing in, but then we can come on shows like yours and go, all this lot are in it, and maybe people will think, oh, well, I'll listen to it then, instead of those old has-beens from the Fast Show.
Perhaps an inevitable
Can I have
question.
some of your money?
Last person said that to me was Ken Dodd. It shows you who you are now positioned.
I know exactly where I am, mate.
Here's the thing. Inevitable question. Will it transfer to television? Would you want to do it as a TV show?
Well,
I'd say
when
no
I
to
came
both,
up,
but
when
now
I
you'll
came
get
up
on
with
about
the when
When Paul
I
came
came
up
up
with
with the
his
idea for
Yeah.
down the line. Originally, I thought it was actually a good way of introducing characters, and rather than just being a spoof sketch show, rather than just coming on doing the catchphrase and off like Little Britain, Fast Show, whatever, it was a new and interesting way of doing it. But then, for some other reason, I got involved
Surely
in
we
another
do
project.
just come on and do a catchphrase and go off.
You do, but
Well,
you,
actually,
you
no,
can
there's
make
no
a political
catchphrases.
point, can't you? And you can
Oh, yes,
develop the
satire.
characters. Yes, a
And they
satire,
can-
such
yeah,
as it is.
but it's more of there's a framework from which organically the characters can grow and inhabit.
Yeah, it was a fun... Yeah, I don't know what to say to that. It was
No,
fun.
it was so well put.
There you go.
You've
You know
got
what? I think
intelligence
now
to-
I've raised the bar. Let's go to the news. 88 to 91 FM. This is Radio 2 from the BBC. That kind of just works, doesn't it?
does.
It always did,
Great.
and it always does. It does. It sort of shouldn't in a way because he's not got a great voice, and it's just
No,
straight on-
and
but it's just a brilliant track.
It's brilliant. Egyptian reggae.
Jonathan Richman there with Roadrunner. Yes, Egyptian reggae. He's just going to name random tracks now.
Well, I was going to say, didn't quite,
But,
he never
you know,
quite reached the dizzy heights of Roadrunner with Egyptian reggae, did he?
That
But it was
could
a
have been-
good try.
That could have been any number of modern British indie guitar bands, couldn't it?
But it wouldn't have had that quality somehow, I feel.
No, they've some of them right.
Well, if Donny Tourette had got hold of that, it'd be nice to see him do a cover of it.
If
wouldn't
only
it?
the Towers of London got hold of that. What do you make of the co-op music scene then, fellas? I imagine, like me, you're sort of old blokes who keep their finger on the pulse a little, but
Well, I
Well, like
did.
you, we have kids as well, which helps.
it does help, doesn't it?
I do.
But do you like them? Are any of your children part of the emo phenomenon?
No, they
No,
talk about
no,
it, though, and they
luckily
demonstrate what an emo is to me by putting their hair over their face.
Yeah,
It's sort of
looking a
goth,
bit gloomy,
really, isn't it? Yeah.
My daughter's sort of vaguely emo or
Right.
screamo even, which is slightly angrier.
Oh,
that's
angry emo.
There's screamo.
Oh, I might like one of them.
Well,
coming at me.
screamo's okay though because they're still quite soft, really. But the music, that sort of music, I find is somewhat repetitive and not particularly interesting.
Yeah, but you see, we're quite middle-aged now, and I was just thinking, we were just talking about Donny Tourette and how he is like a kind of two Ronnies version of a
Or more
punk.
like- I think
But do
more
you
like a Russ Abbott version
Yes,
of
a
a
Russ Abbott version of a punk. But do you think that people of our age now thought that about punks at the time? They just think that was largely irrelevant.
I don't think so because it was actually new. It wasn't a retro thing, and now
There
it
was
is
still a
retro
few
thing.
people around saying, "Oh, it's just the Who."
Yeah,
Who
were they?
did
Yeah, the Who said that, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, but no,
Pete
there
Townsend
hasn't
woke up in a
been.
skip, I believe, about that
There
period.
hasn't
So
really
it's just
been
like
a big new musical thing, has there? A new
Well,
gang,
maybe not one that we were for. But I mean, I suppose House and that kind of dancey
Yeah,
stuff in the
that's
90s
how
was.
long ago was that now?
Yeah.
It's 20 years.
But it's one.
20?
But you know why? I suspect it won't come here from the UK. I suspect it will come from somewhere like China or one of the eastern countries. It won't come from us anymore. I don't
Yes.
think.
Yeah, you
We're
heard
too
it.
backward
Chimo.
looking.
Heard it.
Chimo or something.
Chimo.
Well, there's a kind of a Muslim punk band out there apparently. You heard about these?
Mimo. A Muslim emo band.
Mumo. I don't know what it's going to be. But anyway, it won't necessarily be aimed at us, and we might not necessarily.
I don't think it will be aimed at us, not necessarily.
Not if
You
they've got any
remove the
sense.
necessarily.
All right, you didn't really answer my question before the news, Mr. Whitehouse, whether or
What
not
was
the
that?
show down the line will be transferred to television, or whether there's any plans to do so.
Look, I'm a bitter middle-aged comedian. I haven't got as much
Can I
money
just
as
stop you
you.
there for a second?
No.
You always have been, even when you were quite young. You've always looked quite old. You've always looked like you've had, a very rough upbringing,
Oh,
a very
thank
terrible
you.
life. I don't know if it's the Welsh food or something.
Thank you very much.
And now you've just grown into yourself.
Look, I just want your money.
If we don't answer this question, he'll keep on asking.
go on.
it.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to take it to TV. It's not a TV idea. It's a radio idea. If we had a really
No,
good
it's
idea
not.
for a
It was
TV
my
show,
idea. Look
we'd
at
have
this.
taken it to
See
the
what-
television.
And
However, we
How an
might
idea can be hijacked by someone else.
we might try and
Domineering.
use some of the characters of it or
This
the
is
way
a
of
bit like
working.
interviewing Peter Andre and Jordan. This is exactly the same chemistry they have.
Which one am I?
You're Peter Andre, you'll be pleased to know. You're the calm one.
Right.
But it would work on television if you wanted to.
I
You
have
could
got
find
bigger
ways.
tits than Paul. though.
That's true.
You see, you've let yourself down now.
Yeah.
He's let himself go as
Let
well.
yourself. Your moves are showing. It would
What,
work
they
on
Muslim
TV, though.
boobs?
But you're working with
Why
Harry
would it
again,
work
of
on
course.
TV? It's someone in one room talking down the telephone to somebody in another room. There's no interaction. There's no drama.
Of course, there's drama and
It's a
conflict.
terrible idea for
No,
television.
it's not. I think it could work really well, but a
could
bit of
film.
imagination.
Yeah.
You're working with Harry Enford again. Are you both working with Harry again, or is it just you, Paul?
Just me.
Okay. And why, Charlie? You're too
Well,
busy
you
doing
can see
I'm
why.
writing my-
He'll
I'm
take
writing-
it over and say, this is a radio show. It will never work on telly.
I'm too busy being a novelist for the
Yes.
young people
That's
of this
right.
country,
That's
the
nice,
future
isn't it?
generation,
That's
with
right.
my young Bond novels,
Yeah, but
the
they're
new
set
one
in
of
the
which
past.
is out now called Double or Die.
I know.
Thank you.
This was where you had the internet kind of polling thing going on.
Yes,
so
that's
they could
right.
choose, and Double or Die was the one which I said was the best one, wasn't it?
Well, it's the one that sounds most like a James Bond title.
Double or Die. I thought that could be the song.
What's the
for
other
you.
one called? Slippery Eel? What's the eel one called?
Silverfin. That was.
Oh, me back's gone. That's a good one. Did you? No, presumably, we know you like the Daniel Craig Bond. Are you a Bond fan as well, Paul?
Not really, Jonathan. I think it's pure oil and
Do you think
stupid.
it's played out by now?
Well, I think the whole concept is right, sort of paper thin, isn't it? You know.
You'd make quite a good Bond villain, if I'm honest. A man, and Bond knew he was about when he sang quite poor opera in the background.
Well, I'm not even going to go into why you think I'd make a Bond villain, but
You've
because
got
I'm
good-
gay.
you got-
What?
You could
Bitter?
be. No, you're quite kind of like a sort of like
Megalomaniac?
strange-looking fella,
Megalomaniac.
isn't he, Charlie? Quite a little strange, like those two ones in the the ones in the desert, the gay Bond villains.
There are, you see.
Winton Kid.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
You two
you know
together
their
could be the new.
names?
He doesn't know
Of
the
course he
name.
does.
He'd be more of a villain's henchman, though, wouldn't he?
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Or get blown up in one of the earlier scenes, wearing an
Listen,
all-in-one
rather
suit.
like Jermaine Jackson, I'm just going to take this all on board. I'm going to internalise it and externalise it and
Don't
throw
rise-
it back at you with
don't rise to the-
love.
Don't rise to their babe.
No, I'm not going to.
You're better than them.
No, I'm cleverer than you all as well.
He's cleverer than us. Let's gang up on him. Let's put some more
Hey,
music
can
on.
I just say, talking about technology, there is a facility now that exists on the BBC where you can press the red button after the 29th of January on any BBC show and you can see a 15-minute documentary about the making of Down the Line.
Can you really?
Yes, you can. It's very entertaining.
But it's something that Charlie thought wouldn't work on TV,
Exactly.
and yet here already has been proven wrong.
Well, that's only 15 minutes long. It works perfectly, 15 minutes, but you wouldn't want to watch a whole series of it.
Of course you would.
You say that, but you look at who would have thought that the Day Today, which was a radio show, would have been so brilliant on television, and yet indeed it was.
Thank you, Jonathan.
We've silenced
We'll
the
take
grey-haired
Charlie
one.
into
Well,
the toilets and smack his head off the tap until he agrees that we're right.
It's like we're living scum out again, isn't it?
You're just
Go on.
bullying me.
Slip a couple more billiard balls in my support stocking, will you?
Yeah, at this kind of level of bullying, I expect.
Oh, he's ran out of steam there, didn't he?
I expect Gordon Brown to be asking questions about this.
That was quite something, wasn't it? Do you think Gordon's a regular Big Brother voter?
He's a big fan of Gandhi now as well, isn't he?
Well, he's a fan of the democratic process.
He's jumping on the old Gandhi bandy wagon. All right, what are we going to
New single from the from the Long Blondes called Giddy Stratosphere.
There you go, the Long Blondes.
Yeah.
We were chatting about other stuff while that was on, so we were taken a bit by surprise there. It's lovely to see you both again. I'm delighted that you two have stayed friends. I didn't think that you wouldn't because you had a relationship that existed before show business, but it is quite unusual. Do you still keep in touch with everyone that you knew years ago? I mean, obviously you're working with Harry now, but are you still close with Jim and Bob? Or you worked with years, Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer? And
See less of them now that they're down in Kent the whole time.
Yeah, they made the mistake of moving away from the centre of
They
British
tend to
comedy.
work in Maidstone, but see them when we can. Yeah.
Well, they're involved in the Titty Titty Bang Bang show, I believe, aren't they?
They make their production company makes it. Yes.
It's Bob is his more active role in it.
Bob produces, co-produces, co-writes.
Right, and it's
pulling the strings.
It's a surprise, isn't it, that
scenes.
Bob's got together a gaggle of women to order around.
He's like a regional Hugh Hefner, isn't he? Really? With arthritis.
Provincial Hugh Hefner.
And you guys are presumably going to carry on working until you drop, essentially. I mean, that seems to be the plan, doesn't it? Or do you have a game plan? Have you set
Well,
yourself
I've got to, Jonathan, because I don't have the money that you have.
Yeah, not the talent. But have you set yourself a...
That's
Well, the
debate.
thing is, you don't need to work as much as you do, and the reason you do it is because you enjoy it.
I love it.
Jonathan.
And you know why as well? Because I want to give back.
Yeah.
You know, I'm giving back. That's what I'm doing here. I'm giving back to the people. It would be wrong of me. It's like, look at this. If you were a beautiful woman, would you hide your face away? Or would you let people look at you? Same with me.
What? How's that the same with you?
In every way.
Yeah.
And I don't want to deny
But
people that.
will you identify the day when you have delighted us for too long?
Yeah. Well, okay. We're obviously dealing only in the hypothetical realm now, right? Because that's not going to happen.
No, of course not.
But I think I will eventually, when I decide that I have to slow down,
Do you
I will drip feed myself a little bit, and I will wean people off me gradually, so it's not too abrupt a
Much
shot.
of a shot,
You know,
yeah.
otherwise, that would be
I know.
bad, and who knows what would happen.
It'd be wailing in the street, wouldn't it?
Nation would be like when Valentino died.
You know, you'll probably go on forever. You'll be like the new Frank Muir, won't you? Very tall.
I saw Dennis
very
Norden in the
tall,
street
with
yesterday.
a slight speech impediment.
I saw Dennis Norden. He tried to get the cab that I
Everyone's
was
a
in.
fruit nutcase. I'm hoping that by the time I get old, they'll
You're
have found
still
ways
getting
of
adverts.
keeping us going for even longer. and I'll be like, it'll be the Rossatron 2000.
Oh, I can hardly wait.
How lovely to see you both again. Congratulations on a bold venture, which is paying off for you, but also it'll be nice to see you back on TV with Harry, and presumably there'll be new characters as well, I would have thought.
Yeah, look, it's all new characters. It's similar to the old Harry Enfield show, Harry Enfield and Chums, but with a vast array of new characters.
I'm very much looking forward to it. And Charlie, keep writing the Bond novels, because despite what many people said, I know Andy was one of them who said it was shocking that you would do that, I always knew it would work, and it has worked, and I'm
Well,
thrilled.
we're currently number one in the charts.
Congratulations on that, and deservedly so. Lovely to see you both again, Mr. Charles Higson and Paul Whitehouse.
Thank you very
Very
much.
much.